So there's a couple things that you need to look out for after you close escrow. A lot of people talk about all of a sudden they get letters in the mail saying your loan's been sold. What does that mean exactly, Matt?
Yeah, great question. So there's servicing companies out there that actually end up servicing the loan. So once we fund a loan, or once any lender funds a loan, some of them they'll keep on their own books and they'll service themselves, but most of the time they get sold to an actual servicing company. And when that happens, all the terms of your loan stay the same. All that's changing is where you send your monthly payment. So
Okay.
it's nothing to worry about or get concerned about, but it is something to be aware of because you want to make sure that you're sending your payment to the right person.
Yeah. And how often does a loan get sold? Like, what are the chances of someone's loan being sold?
I would say, with us, it's probably about 75% of the time it's going to be sold in the first couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it should remain pretty steady for the majority of the life of the loan. It
Okay.
could get sold once or twice more, it just depends. But, we see most of our loans getting sold, and that's pretty common in the industry. Right?
Okay.
Unless you're dealing with the big banks and the big jumbo loans where they actually keep them on their portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you'll notice a difference.
Okay. But so for the average Joe Schmo, like you and me,
Yeah,
it's gonna get sold.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's nothing to be concerned about.
It's just different name on the paperwork.
That's it. Yep.
Okay. Good to know. As far as property taxes, this
Mhm.
is a big one because people always call and ask, like, oh my gosh, property taxes, like, who do I pay? Did I pull that aside? Like, when are they due?
Right.
And I know you do some property taxes with closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
So let's elaborate on this a little bit.
Yeah, so property taxes can get a little bit confusing. It depends, first of all, if you're setting up an impound account or not. Meaning, are your taxes and your insurance going to be paid as part of your monthly payment, or are you going to be paying them on your own directly to the county?
And is this
twice a year?
an impound account? Is that option for everyone, or is it just, or are some people required to do it?
Yeah, some people are required to do it. So in the state of California, anytime you put down less than 10%, you have to have an impound account. So that, for a lot of borrowers, it's not an option.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's the case, you don't really have to worry about this too much.
Mm-hmm.
The lender is setting up your impound account, whether it's us or any other lender. They're setting up the impound account to have enough money in there to pay your taxes and insurance when they come due.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There is something known as a supplemental tax bill, which gets
We'll get into
some
that in a whole
weeds.
other video.
Yeah, but the point is there's enough in the impound account to pay your taxes and your insurance. Now, when you don't have an impound account, your taxes come due twice a year,
Okay.
right? Once in November, once in February. They're delinquent if not paid before April. So just something to be mindful of. They come at two bad times a year, right before Christmas and right before tax season, in my opinion. But a lot of people like the flexibility to not have an impound account and pay it when they want.
Okay. Hold up money and gain their own interest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So talking about closing costs and what's all included, their first month's payment is also included in closing costs, correct?
Yes, typically speaking.
Typically.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you close escrow, when is your first payment
Yeah.
on the house actually due?
Great question. So it's the middle of September today. Assuming somebody were to get into escrow today, they would close escrow in October. As long as that escrow closed anywhere in October, their first payment wouldn't be due until December 1st, right?
So it skips a month.
So it always skips 1 month. But if you close on October 30th or October 2nd, it's still December 1st, first payment. When you get to the end of the month, sometimes you have a choice as to when you want your first payment to be due, but it's always within the next 45 to 60 days.
Okay. So you don't move into the house, close escrow one day, and then have your payment due the next day.
Right, exactly. Yep.
You have a little bit of time to recoup some of that
Yes.
closing costs.
Yep.
And you're down. Okay.